Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Keys to the Jet podcast. I'm your host, Red, and today we're talking about an airplane that didn't just show up and do its job. This thing showed up, kicked the door in, and changed aviation forever. Before I get into it, I just want to thank everybody for listening. Thank everybody for following. If you're new here, to welcome to Keys of the Jet. You know what I mean? We talk about all things aviation, military life, and actually whatever the heck I want to talk about. So, yeah, just keep listening. Following. We're on all social medias, everywhere. Yeah, and if you'd like to join our Patreon, you can at keysofthejet. At Keys to the Jet podcast /patreon.com. I believe that's it. Yeah, look it up. Anyways, check this out. And also our current patrons, I'd like to thank them. I love you guys. Gregory, fuck you, Cody. Good year. I'm glad you got a new tire, buddy. The Mayor and Freaky. Same guys who have supported us since day one. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. So the airplane that I started off talking about is this Boeing 707. And we're going to deep dive into the Boeing 707 because it's been a workhorse for not only ASMR, civilian applications, but also military applications. Yeah, and I don't mean like we're not just going to go surface level. Hey, it flew in the 50s and it was fast. No, we're going to go like deep dive into like numbers, design, the numbers, engineering decisions, the impact, and some stories, including one of the most gangster pilot moves in like aviation history. I don't know if you heard about this thing, but it is crazy, dude. If you don't know, he actually did a barrel roll in a 707. I don't know if you've seen these motherfuckers, but they're huge. Huge. Anyway, so let's set the stage because this 707 doesn't make sense unless you understand what the world looked like before. It's the early 1950s. And you're flying anywhere, you're probably on a piston-powered airliner, something like a Lockheed Constellation or a Douglas DC-6. You're cruising around 280 to maybe 320 miles per hour. You're down in the low 20,000-foot range. Engines are vibrating. Props are screaming. And you're going across the ocean. You're making stops. Oral. It's not fast. It's not super smooth. It's definitely not what we think of as modern air travel. Now, jet engines are starting to exist. Okay. But the British come out with the Comet, the first jet airliner. Then it starts breaking apart in midair. That's crazy. Why would you fly on that thing? And that's not even a joke. That's metal fatigue, pressurization cycles, square windows, concentrating stress, all the stuff engineers now design around. But back then, they learned it the hard way. So now, the aviation world is kind of sitting there like, hey man, yeah, jets are cool, but also like, let's not die while we're in them. You know what I mean? And Boeing is watching all of this. And instead of backing off, they double down. Like Boeing does. So Boeing, being Boeing, decides to build something called the Model 367-80. The Dash 80. This thing first flies in 1954. And I want you to picture this aircraft because this is where the 707 is born. Okay, it's born. You've got a sleek fuselage, about 128 feet long. Wingspan just under 130 feet. Or turbojet engines mounted under swept wings. And those wings are swept back about 35 degrees, which is key for high-speed flight. This thing is designed to fly fast. Faster than anything else in commercial aviation at the time. And now it's powered by early turbojets producing roughly 10,000 to 11,000 pounds of thrust. And you've got over 40,000 pounds of thrust total pushing this thing through the sky. And that's crazy. At that time and place, and Boeing builds it with their own money. No guarantee of success, no guarantee airline orders, just a massive bet on the future. You know what? Before we go any further, I just want to know what the workers made. I want to know what they were paid back then. You know what I mean? And then we get to one of the greatest stories in aviation. The Dash 80 is doing demonstration flights for airline executives and the public. And the test pilot, a guy named Alvin M. Johnston, that they call him Tex, known as Tex, decides he's going to make a point. So he takes his prototype jet transport aircraft, flies it over Seattle, and this is what I would imagine how Tex would talk, obviously because it's called Tex, and performs a full goddamn barrel roll. Believe that shit? Not a gentle bank, not a wing over, a full-on, smooth, controlled barrel roll. In a jet transport. Now imagine being a Boeing executive watching that from the ground, dude. That your soul probably left your body. And when he lands, the president of Boeing basically asks him, "What the fuck are you doing on my airplane?" And Tex just calmly says, quote, "I was selling airplanes." And honestly, he wasn't wrong, because what he proved in that moment was that this aircraft wasn't fragile, it was stable, controlled, and incredibly capable. The video is crazy. If you've ever seen it, look it up. I'll put a short out and show you, because when I worked on the 707, I was like, what? That is not a thing. It is a thing. It happened. It's a thing. So Boeing takes everything they learned from the Dash 80, including that barrel roll, and turns it into the real deal, the Boeing 707. First flight was on December 20th, 1957, and this is no longer a prototype. This is a full-blown commercial jetliner. Now let's walk this aircraft like we're standing on the flight line looking at it, or in the hangar, because this thing has a presence, I guess. Potentially. I mean, I've been around it. It's big. I've been on top of it. It's big. If you're looking at a 707 320 Intercontinental, which is one of the most common capable variants, you're looking at a machine. It's about 152 feet, 11 inches long. That's longer than a lot of aircraft flying domestic routes today. The wingspan comes in at about 145 feet, 9 inches, stands roughly 42 feet tall. So yeah, this thing has size, but it's still a narrow body. Fuselage width, which is about 12 feet, 4 inches, which gives you that classic 6 abreast seating layout. 3 seats on each side. And that layout, we still use it today. That's 707 DNA baked into modern aviation, you know what I'm saying? Now, weight-wise, this thing is no joke. Depending on the variant, you're looking at a maximum takeoff weight between 312,000 and 336,000 pounds. For the late 1950s and early 60s, that's freaking huge. I mean, that's serious capabilities. And now the wings, dude. This is where the engineering really shines. A 35-degree sweep. The swept wing we talked about earlier allows the aircraft to cruise efficiently. at high subsonic speeds, pushing close to the speed of sound without running into massive drag penalties. The wing area is about 3,050 square feet, which gives you plenty of lift and also houses a massive amount of fuel because this aircraft is built for range. And it's a gas guzzler, man. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Get some Diet Pepsi here. Now, excuse me. Excuse me, ASMR. Now let's talk engines again, but this time the production versions. The early 707s are running the Pratt & Whitney JT3C turbojets, each one producing around 13,500 pounds of thrust. 4 engines, you're sitting at about 54,000 pounds of thrust total, dude. And these things are loud. Yeah, they are. They suck. Not like modern turbofan loud, like rattle your bones from the parking lot loud. Then Boeing upgrades to JT3D turbofans. Now you're pushing 17,000 to 19,000 pounds of thrust per engine, but fuel efficiency, more range and less noise. And honestly, this upgrade is one of the reasons that later 707 variants became so successful. Now, the performance of this aircraft, this is where the people in the 1950s just lost their minds. You're cruising at about a Mach 0.8 to 0.82, which is roughly 550 to 600 miles per hour. You're cruising at an altitude of 30 to 35,000 feet and a range on something like the 707 3020B, you're looking at roughly 5,000 to 5,750 nautical miles. So now, instead of taking forever to cross the Atlantic, you're doing it in about 8 hours. That's not just faster, that's a completely different world. A passenger capacity usually falls somewhere between 140 and 189 passengers. ASMR, you're welcome. Did you like that? Depending on how the airline configures it, which again, today that sounds normal. Back then, that's a massive step forward. So in October 1958, Pan Am puts the 707 into service. Pan Am, they aren't even around no more. New York to Paris, and just like that, the jet age is born and real, and everyone sees it, and it is there, and yes. And once that happens, everything changes. Airlines start expanding routes. Passenger demand skyrockets. Flying becomes faster, more reliable, more accessible, and the world, it just gets smaller. More globalized. And then the internet's not even around yet. This is just airline traffic. It's just airline stuff. Now, Boeing doesn't stop. You get the 707-120, your early domestic version. Then the 707-320 Intercontinental, longer, heavier, more fuel, more range. Then the 320B and the 320C, bringing the turbofans, structural upgrades, better payload capacity. And each version is essentially refining the platform as it goes along, making it better, making it stronger, making it more capable. And then you've got the Boeing 720, which is basically the 707's lighter, shorter sibling, designed for shorter routes and smaller airports. Same DNA, different mission. Now, let's zoom out zooming out again, because this is a part that really matters. This really matters. 707 becomes the first truly successful commercial jetliner. Did I press a button? I thought I pressed a button on my keyboard. My bad. Where I stopped. Let's see. And because it's the first truly successful commercial jetliner, it launches Boeing into dominance. Civilian air travel dominance. Without the 707, you don't get the 727, you don't get the 737, you don't get the 747. Modern aviation doesn't exist the way we know it. And think about that. A freaking barrel roll, dude. A barrel roll in a 707 got people to buy the airplane from a guy named Tex. I'm going to do a barrel roll in my new airplane. Okay, cool. And of course, Uncle Sam, the military, gets involved. You get aircraft like the E3 Century AWACS, the E6 Mercury, the EAJ Stars, which are all 707 platforms, all built of the same basic design philosophy. Still flying today, I think. Actually, I think they've retired a lot of them. I have no idea. But KC-135, I think. Things like that. Still flying today. From a platform born in the 1950s. Now, it's had issues. The early engines were loud. Fuel efficiency wasn't great. Maintenance practices have had to evolve, obviously. But compared to what came before, this thing was a leap into the future. By the 1970s, wide-body jets started taking over. Bigger, more efficient, more passengers, more fuel. And the 707 starts stepping out of passenger service. But it doesn't go away. It goes into cargo, military, special missions. It keeps flying because it was built right. I mean, that's one thing Boeing did right. One thing in a long time that they've done. So when you look at the 707, you're not just looking at an airplane. You're looking at the Swiss Army knife of airplanes, of jet airliners. I'm just kidding. You're looking at the moment aviation changed direction. The aircraft that proved jet travel was the future. The machine that made global travel normal. And the jet that started it all, baby. And honestly, you may or may not respect the fact that somewhere in its origin story, a test pilot rolled the prototype of a new airplane over Seattle, whose name was Tex, and who basically looked his boss dead in the eye after he was done and basically said, "Hey, bro, relax, dude. I'm just trying to sell shit for you." Would you do that to your boss today? Would you? Do you have those kind of cojones? I don't know. I don't know if I'd do it, bro. An airplane like that doing a barrel roll. Of course, I think if I had the right ceiling, the skies were clear. The skies were clear. No other airplanes were around me. I had the right altitude and speed and everything like that. I'd fucking just whip it. You know what I mean? I turn on Riding Dirty first by Chameleon Air. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to get me running. Then I'd whip that bitch, dude. You know what I mean? Just like Vin Diesel, dude. Freaking, woo. Just there's nothing more stronger than family. You know? You know what? Listen, you guys. Listen, you guys. I just want you to know that this has been a good episode so far, and we're gonna end it. We're gonna end the 707 part here, but we're gonna go into some this day in aviation and then a couple news stories, right? Because we're only at 20 minutes. We'll take you to a full 30. You know what I mean? You haven't heard from me in a while. You probably miss my voice. Probably don't remember who I am. I'm Red. Remember that. Hey, let's let's go into some this day in aviation, bro. Oh snap! Crackety twizzle. Hey, listen. Talking about this day in aviation, you see that the whole Artemis thing? That's pretty cool. Dudes going around the moon. I thought we were gonna land on the moon, not just make like a pass. You know, not just make like a hey, we just made this freaking pass over it, dude. It looks cool. Did they see anything? Remember Transformers, Dark Side of the Moon? Did they see any of those pods or anything over there? The bridge? Huh? You remember that? Yeah, they're over there. Aliens are over there. Yeah. I can't prove it because I don't have a yellow Camaro that follows me around that shoots other alien beings. You know what I mean? Be cool if I did, because then I wouldn't have to drive, dude. I'd just be like, Bumblebee, pick me up. You know what I mean? And then I could like fall asleep. But would I trust an alien robot driver? Where did he get his license from? You know what I mean? Did he forge one here in the US? I don't know. What about Optimus Prime? Yeah. What about Jetfire? That guy's crazy. Remember he was SR-71? Woo! I digress. Sorry, I'm getting too wound up here. What is today? Today is April 12th. Is it April 12th already? I should check my calendar and time and stuff like that. Good golly, Miss Molly. 11 April 1981, Space Shuttle Columbia lifted from launch. Kennedy Space Center. Mission STS-1, the first orbital flight of the series of reusable space vehicles aboard were mission commander John Watts Young and shuttle pilot Robert L. Crippen. On 14 April, just a couple days later, it landed at Edwards Air Force Base on the high desert of Southern California, completed 37 orbits. Whoa! The total mission duration was 2 days, 6 hours, 20 minutes, and 53 seconds. Do you think that, like, because we've never seen space, we just see the blackness of space, right? Do you think that when they get up there, it's like water? Because, you can look, if you're in deep, deep, deep water, it's like really dark, right? I've never been on the ocean or anything, but one would assume. You think it's water, man? You think that like once they hit the 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 thing up there, it's like water? You think it's like and aliens are like water? You know? Or maybe it's not called water to aliens. I wonder what would aliens call water if they called it? Like, what would their language be like? Gleep glorp. You know what I mean? Like, that's obviously a really shitty impression of an alien. I've never seen one, allegedly. Or I've never heard one, allegedly, but, maybe the different species, like, talk like that. You know what I mean? Because you know how we have, like, the grays, and there could be, like, others that have, like, 8 eyes, like spiders. How many eyes do spiders have? They have 8 legs, but they have, like, 10 eyes, right? I'm no geologist. I don't know spiders. But I'll look into it and have it next episode for you. We can go from there. Okay. Next one. Next. No. Uh, no. 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 I mean, no. There's not really anything cool there, dudes. You know what I mean? Let's go to Air Force time. The Air Force is putting big money behind its effort to keep aviators in the service. Why don't you put big money to keep maintainers in the service? Yeah, you can't fly an airplane without maintenance, dude. You're having trouble keeping people. Why? Put some money into it. Put some money into the maintainers instead of these motherfuckers, these stick actuators that go up for an hour. Thank you for what you do. You're really cool at your job when you drop bombs and save people and stuff. But the other fucking, 22 hours of the day, you've got maintenance crews on the ground that are humping and bumping, grinding, knuckle busting, fucking having alcohol issues, divorce issues, family issues because of the amount of time that they spend on that fucking flight line. They should put more money into their maintainers, not their aviators. Again, you have a cool job. You're really cool. You do what you do. They put a fuck ton of money into you already. They give you like ginormous bonuses to keep you, but they don't do shit for the maintainers. They don't do shit for the crew chiefs. They don't do shit for the AVI. They don't do shit for the weapons troops. They don't do shit for engines guys. They don't do shit for fucking, the guys running the shit like pro supers and expediters and things like that. Like, we are keeping your shit running on a daily basis, a 24-hour clock. We don't get crew rest. You get crew rest because you're special. Put more money into the fucking maintainers. Put more money into their tools. Put more money into their fucking, you know, just everything. Quality of life. Put more money into their quality of fucking life. And you'll have people staying. You'll have people going, oh my God, I want to be a maintainer. You have people that go in for a couple years and go, fuck this. And then cross train and then leave or get out. That's why you can't keep people, dude. You treat us like shit. And it might be inadvertent. It might be a trickle down effect from how it once was. And it just keeps going on like that. But you got to put money into your fucking people and not just people fucking, moving the fucking stick around. Oh, your training costs a lot. Great. Okay, cool. You might have to eject. All right, great. You've gone through that training. Now put some fucking money into the maintainers. That's all I gotta say. That's it. Let's see. One last thing before I go. It's been a great episode about the 707. One more thing before I go is if you are one of those fucking people who call an F-16 a Viper, it is not. An F-16 is a fighting Falcon. I think only the wild weasels are designated Vipers. And if you are the motherfucker who calls it a Viper, I will fight you. We can fight. I will fight you. Okay? I'm talking straight to you. I'll fight you if you call it a fucking Viper. So, without further ado, this has been an episode on the 707. We did some Air Force time stuff. I went on some rants. That's my recap. I love you guys. Keep listening to Keys of the Jet podcast. You can go to all of our social medias. You can go to patreon.com, become a patron if you like. Donate to our cause. And yeah. Go to our YouTube. Go to our Facebook page. Go to our Instagram. Leave a comment. You don't like what we're doing? Leave a comment. I mean, I'm not really going to give a shit if you don't like it, but, you know, I'll look at it for a second, laugh, and probably send you a finger emoji. But yeah. All right. I'm out of here. Once again, love you. Goodbye. Yeah. Don't call a fucking F-16 a Viper. Bye. Get out of here.